Hi Scott, instead of sending you a long email, I wanted to just show you what I'm looking at so I can explain better. So here I'm trying to run three scenarios just to figure out where the issue is. But I do have a little bit of problem. I'm going to show that to you. Just to start, you may not see all the expenses that it's in the OM. Some of the small ones, I put them in the corner here, like advertising and miscellaneous. So all of it adds to 22,000, about 22,000, and I just put that 22,000 into this other expense tab right there. So for all of it, I'm doing the same thing for all the scenarios. All right. So let's take a quick look. It looks like the main issue, if you're going to go with the 3 million, the main issue is going to be the expenses. Now the expenses reported in OM looks correct, about 52%, which that's about right for the building that size. But I just don't know what's missing or how to distribute it properly here. So here is the first scenario. The yellow shows you what I have changed. So let's say for the income, I changed the vacancy to 5% and the concession to 3% because that's what usually averages. The average in India, I think, is about 6% vacancy. So, and that's what the bank's gonna see to approve the loan. So I had to add those in. You can probably take a look at this and tell me what you think. But that's for the income portion that I had to change. Now the scenario one is kind of drastic. I'm pretty sure it's wrong, but I'll probably have to work with you to correct this. See if you see the total expenses comes out to about 71% on estimation, which I'm pretty sure it's wrong. But let me run through it very quickly. So the 19,000, yellow shows you what I have changed. So this one I just called the assessor's office and asked them what the tax bill is for that address, and they gave it to me pretty close, so I don't see much of an issue there. I just mark it yellow because I changed it. And then here, the contract services. So the contract services like pest control and snow removal, landscaping. So I didn't see anything there. It's possible it's included in some of the expenses, but I need help to be able to extract what that is. Typically around that area is about $200 per unit, so I add that back in. But after you review it, we probably can just take it out again. The trash again, that was the email we've been sending back and forth. That's the same issue. It's it's about $200 per unit typically in the Indianapolis area. It might be jammed into one of the other expenses, but and maybe I'm double dipping here, but you can help to figure that out. I appreciate that. So I add that back in here. Now in the other scenario, I took them out, assuming they're included in some of the other expenses. Taxes, I left that tax change there. These blue ones, didn't change it to yellow because I didn't really change it. You had 33,000. I just broke it down. Electric is this much. The water and sewer is 25,000. So I didn't change it. I just distributed it differently on both scenarios that I'm running. Then legal was also a little bit light. Typically on the low side is about 150 per unit for eviction and legal things. So if you look at maybe 2 years when you're doing the due diligence, usually for a good place like the one that you have, it's usually come out about 150 per unit. So that one's I had to put this because also the bank is going to look at bank probably not going to accept this. They're probably going to accept something around this area to approving a loan. Same thing as getting equity from investors. And the management was also it's possible I'm double dipping here as well. I had to put 5% estimation, which comes to this, and then I reduced the payroll. So the payroll you had to calculate the total payroll, I added payroll expenses, payroll taxes, salaries, and then it comes out to about 56. So I reduced the payroll to 45,000. and I added 5% to cover the management fee. And what else did I change? Okay, and then the deposit and reserve about 250 per unit is typical. Obviously, this one something's wrong with it, so I think you can help me figure out what to correct it. So for this other scenario I ran, I just assumed these two trash and what else? Trash and contract services is embedded in some of the others, so just put 0 for those. And what else did I change? I think that's about it. I think 62. It comes about 62%, 64%. So we got to figure out which scenario is the actual truth, or if this is the actual truth, then we kind of have to I have to figure out how to distribute this correctly. So anyway, so let's say these three scenarios. Get one more issue to run by you. One more issue is if I go to the estimation that you sent me, so you sent me 4 cap rates. Out of the 4 cap rates, 2 of them I could use. This one is 2013, so it's kind of newer. This one was renovated in 2017, so I can't really use this cap rate or this cap rate. These two I can. Each about 6.7. There's a problem with the cap rate, but we get to it later. Right now, I think the cap rate in ND is around a little bit in 7.5ish, somewhere around there. But let's say if we do use 6.7 based on the data you have, if I come down here, use the 6.7 cap rate on the expenses and the income, the P&L that you sent me, it's actually come to about 2,800,000, not 3 million. And then obviously something is wrong with this one just because of the 1% expenses. This scenario shows the building value should be 1.5 million. Don't take that one seriously. And on the other scenario that I run is about 2 million. So here, I just wanted to go ahead and send that to you. You take a look at it, and then we can start talking about how to get these expenses distributed correctly, so I can run the P&L next. All right, take care, bye.